Hey everyone, this is Shane Mohabier, president of Funder Intel. So in today's video, I have a guest and I'm happy to have him on. He's one of our early enrollees in our loan broker training program and something that we just recently launched a couple months ago. So since we've launched, we've had some enrollees that have been wanting to get someone on here, speak about their experiences and, really about their background, their story and what they've been doing. So if you haven't already checked out our loan broker training program, it's in the Learning Center on our website. So you can go through it there and let us know any questions. But, our guest and our first guest, hopefully of many, he's Stephen Giles Osborne, and he's the founder of Credit Square. His company is a financial services and consulting firm. They aim to help their clients build stronger financial foundations, as well as helping them move towards a better financial future. So, Stefan, welcome. Glad to have you on.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. It's been, a whirlwind to get this training going, and, really happy to see that you, went through it and,
Yes.
looking forward to hearing, more about it. But let's start with first, really, kind of more on your background, your story, what your business does, those things.
Yes, sir. So as you mentioned, I am the CEO and founder of Credit Square Financial Group. So what we do is we are a holistic financial brokerage. So we actually work with our clients in the areas of funding, planning, and protection. So we typically look to help clients to acquire the money, figure out an overall business strategy or plan what they want to do with that money, and protect it along the way, and then other ways to grow it. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much what it is that we do. But as far as background, we started the company. We started the company about 5 years ago, out of New Orleans, Louisiana, originally. That's where I actually went to college, Xavier University.
Okay.
Played tennis there. So I went there on full tennis scholarship.
No way. Nice.
Yeah, man. So then after I got out, kind of bounced around a little bit. Business major, I kind of bounced around a little bit, trying to find my niche and what it was that I wanted to do. And then got into financial planning.
Sure.
When I was about 25 or so. And the individual who actually introduced me to financial planning had his own firm. So I kind of got a good gift, you would say. I was working at Enterprise at the time, and I had an advisor come in and meet me. Just kind of was talking to me and asked me, had I ever thought about being a financial advisor, just because he likes my people skills and everything. Mm-hmm. Told him I was like, nah, because I'm only 25 and I'm broke. So don't have any money to kind of really show that I know about money, nor am I old enough that I think anybody would really listen. Yeah. He kind of laughed like how you and I did, and then he just said, man, if you just kind of give it a shot, come over and I'll share with you, some of the strategies and some of the ways that you will be able to help people. And so I went there and met with him. He helped me to enter into the space by getting my life insurance license. Okay. So that is how I got the introduction to the financial space. So got my life insurance license, was on the road to becoming a Series 6, Series 7 guy. But then I kind of noticed one thing, being a newer guy. I was like, man, it seems like everybody that we can help are only people that already have money, right? What about all the guys that are out here trying to get money, or guys that have businesses, that are looking to say, hey, how can I get more money to grow? Rather than just talking to them from the aspect of how to plan with this money. And so that's what kind of got my wheels turning, and looking for ways to say, like, okay, how can I be different? And also thinking about that, I noticed another thing with that approach is trying to find those high net worth clients, right? And so when you're 25, 26, 27, and even me now, 31, when you go in talking to a business owner that's 65, 55, they're kind of looking at you like, what value do you have to bring to me? Right. And so,
what do you know, youngin? Yeah.
Right. And so that's kind of like the hurdle that I kept seeing myself running into. So I said, man, what can I do to be a value add to these individuals? Right. And coming across funding, that is what I was saying. Hey, if I can be able to help these guys to do what it is that they're trying to do, right? Understand what their goal is. Are you trying to get funding? Are you trying to grow? What is it that you're trying to do? Help them in that area first. And then that builds the trust as well as gives them additional funding to work with me on other things. So I said, man, this is kind of that kind of started the whole idea of peeking into the funding side.
Okay. All right. So have you already started offering some of those services, or and then completely, like, what services does your company offer then, in addition to the insurance and funding?
Yeah, so we do offer those that today. We started actually, I guess the story I was telling you timeline wise, we kind of started looking into funding about 20, right around pandemic time, right around COVID time. Because that was when we were kind of really starting to see, like, man, how can we get in front of these guys? What do we have like really to offer? And that was kind of when I started kind of looking at stuff. And then it wasn't until 2021 that I found your site, the Funder Intel. And I started to be able to see, okay, here's a place where they give you the relationships. They also give you like a lot of background knowledge. And then all of that stuff allowed me to say, man, I'm looking at this broker trainer here. All this other info that they're giving you here for free, man, it has to be some great knowledge here in this business broker training. So we went ahead and got that. I went ahead and got that. And man, that really actually changed the whole outlook on how I looked at funding.
Wow. Okay. So tell me, so sorry. Yeah. I mean, tell me more about that then. So you found the site, you started, kind of, which, a lot of people do is they kind of read through, they're debating how they can move forward, if it's going to fit into their business, or let's say they're coming from a different career or whatever. So yeah, tell me more about that. So after you kind of went through the site and you decided to, take the broker training, how did that move forward?
Yeah. So actually, so here in the office, me and my business partner, Byron, I was looking for a training to kind of, I guess, introduce him to the funding side, because it was more or less, we were both financial guys. He's more on the insurance side. We were both insurance guys. He was still on the planning side. I kind of took the dive into the funding side before him. And just in my past experience of wholesaling, before getting into financials, the real estate loan side of the house was just easier, right? So 2020, 2021, all we had been doing was real estate deals, and it was really only me. Okay. And so coming across the site, initially was for me to learn more about the business loan side of the house, right? Because we have a bunch of business owners, and I'm like, hey, we're missing a lot of money here on the business side, but I also can't do this here on my own, right? So I said, man, after looking through the site, I saw that you guys had a training program, and I spoke to my business partner, and I said, hey, man, I think it would be really good if we went ahead and got this training, because this is an introduction for you to be able to get into brokering, as well as myself to get a better understanding for qualifying individuals on the business side of the house. And we actually purchased it initially for that, and ended up getting a much better value, right? So we went in and we purchased it with the intent to say, hey, we wanted to just him to get an introduction, me kind of to get a little refresher. And we actually went in and actually came out with a whole process on how to not only process loans, but we restructured our business overall to just start to say, hey, I mean, when you're as a loan broker, right, you're brokering loans, but as a broker period in the financial space, why can't you take the same concept and also attach it to the life insurance that we offer, or PNC, or business credit, or personal credit? We're also farming those things out.
So was that, when you say you kind of changed some things, was that more like software? Was that, I don't know, daily goals, or like, what do you mean?
So really, I would say process, right? Because as a business owner, anybody who's starting a business from scratch, like, in order to be profitable, in order to stay in business, you have to understand your profitability process from beginning to end. And that's where most businesses fail. Why they say most businesses fail in the first 3 to 5 years, because people know that they want to make money, but literally understanding how to make money from the beginning conception of taking a lead to making them a client to actually servicing them, right? So having a process. And so that was kind of what we were missing, right? Each product or service kind of had its own process, which as we grow from a 2-man firm to 3, 5, 8, so on and so forth, being able to teach or duplicate that will be a mess, right? Because if you don't have one just standardized process that you can duplicate, that you can't continue to grow. And that's kind of like where we were. right? And so after going through the Funder Intel, program and just following the process of, how to broker, how to qualify, it's like, hey, we're looking at it and saying, hey, there's an intake part here. There's a document/information collection stage. There's a review stage, process, close kind of thing. So I'm like, man, why not just take this and make this the way? And then the end product, right, might be a business loan, a real estate loan, business credit, personal credit. The end goal can change, but the process, it has to stay the same. And so that was the moment that we realized that this actually offered us more value, right? And so today we use the Funder Intel broker training as a training for new people that we bring on, right? We have a lot of virtual assistants. Yeah, we have virtual assistants that we use out of the Philippines. And so we actually use the Funder Intel broker training to train our new hires now. That is our new hire training.
That's good to hear. No, that I'm glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. Because I think it's something that that I almost envisioned, right? What happens is for kind of the experienced brokers or ISO companies that have been doing things a certain way, they're going to train their people a certain way, for many years or whatever, they're going to do it their way. But for newer brokers, for people that are getting into this business now, I do think it's a way to train your people. And I just haven't promoted it that way or anything like that, but very happy to hear you say that. So it doesn't take long to complete the training, right? As far as video content, but you do have to go back to kind of the checklist and so forth. You can't just memorize it all and you're going to go, you have to come back to it, right? So is that what you found you and your folks you're training to do, that they're doing that, coming back to it and then going off from there?
Correct. Yes. And so that's what we actually we actually do a refresher every month. So people that are already working with us, we already do a refresher. Always do a refresher, just to make sure that they stay on the process, because we want to drive it home. Like I said earlier, if you can understand the profitability process, then you will be successful. When you don't, then you won't. So I mean, with that, I mean, we first went through it and it was kind of like we went through, saw the basic information, and I'm like, man, if we just keep going through and we can get this stuff down, I'm like, dude, we'll be going from processing 2 deals a month to 10 deals a month to 20 deals a month, easy, because there's no change, to every deal.
Okay. And so talk to me about deals. So, I mean, you just started, so I don't even know if you have any deals or leads or applications, or how is that going for you?
So we have several deals going. So because we've been doing real estate, the real estate loans, a little bit before. Right. And so now I actually have several business leads. I actually have one guy that's looking for $1 million loan, biggest lead that we have right now.
Very nice.
He actually got approved for an SBA funding a couple of months ago for the purpose of acquiring a business. But he was like, most of the time he was thinking he was going to get those funds sooner than it's taken now. And so he kind of, was like, hey man, if you can go ahead and help me lock in, some funding between now and then, I'll go ahead and use that loan to go ahead and acquire. So that came across our desk. So on the business side right now, that's the largest one, I'd say.
And so is he using anything as collateral, or are you looking at, a short-term loan, line of credit, an MCA, or what do you think he's going to fit into?
So I think he's going to fit into more of a term loan, because he actually has good collateral. I got on his balance sheets. I mean, he has equipment. He did have a line of credit that actually, just recently he's no longer using, but he has trucks. He has a bunch of things that, business lenders like to see, right? His last 3 years of business, business statements are growing. He has good cash, good capital, on a month to month, his reserves, the money in the account are high, all of the good things that you said that they should have, as far as businesses, he does have. So for him, I think this is going to be a good one for us.
Okay, that's good. What type of business is it?
He's a concrete manufacturing company. Yeah, and they're actually looking to acquire a smaller concrete manufacturing company, kind of roll-up acquisition type of thing.
Great. No, that's good to hear. So off and running. So how are you kind of now working your leads or trying to bring in, new leads and then
Yeah, so that actually was our biggest help that we received from the training initially, because we were kind of, before the training, we were a lot of word of mouth, right? We were a lot of like, hey, working with a contractor over here in Louisiana, he's telling us about, other contractors and things like that. That's kind of how we were getting deals. But after the training, we actually purchased the lead list initially, and used the scripts provided through you to call the guys. And we've actually got a couple of appointments that way. But outside of that, we've actually been banging LinkedIn. We've been, putting together our own list just through Google, and then going through and calling those guys. But we've been hammering the phones, trying to hit that 100 calls a day, and just make that the norm, because that wasn't our norm before, right? Like before it was different approach, different type of, thing. So since we've been doing that though, man, we've been getting a lot more at bats than we have had before, right? So I spoke about the $1 million loan. That's one of the good ones. Now, as you know, it's a numbers game. We have gotten a bunch of the, hey, I'm trying to get, 20,000, 10,000, but they only make 3,000 or so, right?
Tire kickers, just dreaming. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean,
so
it's good though.
that's good. Yeah. And the 100 calls a day, I mean, to some, people have their own ways of doing things, right? There's a lot of people who will call 500 people a day. They may only talk to 10%, of those people, but that's the number they throw out there. And there's people who do 100 calls or 50 calls, but they're mixing it up with other channels, whether it be email marketing or, like you said, social media networking and LinkedIn and all that. So, okay. All right, good. So in the next 6 to 12 months, like, what do you see as the plan for your business?
So in the next 6 to 12 months, we actually came up with a plan of, number one, introducing this as the new hire training. So we've already made that thing, and we've actually looked to scale. We've set metrics to be able to scale, from where we are now as far as getting business loans. So we've been able to take the metrics from everything that you've given us and put together a metric of, right, like as I said, right now we're doing about 2 to 3 deals on average a month.
Okay.
We think that using this, in the next several months, we should be at 5 to 10 deals on average a month, right? Because now we have a new metric for how to bring in leads. Not only just with that for the broker training, but the lead sources that Funder Intel has provided us, right? We know where to go to buy the leads. We know where to go to use CRMs. All the different sources that you provided us with has actually helped us to completely revamp our business to have more structure and more process. So, I mean, I'd say last year we did about 130,000 or so. I'm thinking that the next year we probably would do about 250,000, in revenue generated.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's more commissions or payment to you, not total dollars funded, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Just
we'll be way over that with total.
Yeah. Clarify for the people that are watching. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. All right. So, what if when folks are looking at the training, they're thinking about if it's for them and all that. What, if any, hesitations did you had? I mean, you're kind of already in basically a similar business offering similar services, just kind of a vertical.
Yes.
What hesitations, doubts, challenges did you kind of think about before you kind of got into business lending full go?
So for me, I wouldn't say I had any hesitations per se, because it was actually a solution for me in my situation. As far as, my goal was to get in front of higher net worth clients, right? And that is what it did for me, as well as to be able to create clients for future opportunities. And so it kind of really wasn't a hesitation. I guess what I will say is that the value that you get for the cost is tremendous, right? Because I've actually had, before working with you, I've looked at other programs, right? And they were charging tens of thousands of dollars, right, for the same information really not even the same, less information than what you're giving, right? Like how you bring everything together with the lenders, with the software, with the how, the process. I mean, dude, that is a tremendous value. So I'd say I had reservations before, coming across your training and your company. But when I did come here,
Right.
I knew the value right when I saw it, because I'm like, man, when I started going through, and as I said before at the beginning of the interview, when I started seeing all the free information that was offered, I'm like, man, this is very valuable information. I mean, guys are saying, hey, you got to pay $6,000 to be able to have a partner library, or all kind of things that you're giving guys here. Like the information that's available, I mean, literally can make you $1 million company if you put forth the work effort and you just go ahead and just follow the processes through, utilize the relationships and networks. I mean, the opportunity is endless.
Well, that's great to hear. I appreciate that. I mean, that's kind of the goal, because, we're aware of, the other training programs out there, and we've, combined a number of things into the site, and we're only growing, right? So we started off as kind of one thing, and we've, just elevated it, and will continue to increase the content and add more to the broker training program, because it probably, I don't even know since the last time we've added some things, and we will continue that either weekly basis or monthly basis. So it's always good to check back for you or your folks. So I'm glad to hear that they will, come back every monthly refresher. And yeah, I mean, look, you're already a business owner, so you kind of already have that mindset and those habits and all that. Before you became a business owner, what were your biggest fears as far as that goes?
So yeah, that's a good question. So before becoming a business owner, right, my biggest fears were obviously is if I was going to be able to make it, right? Would I be able to find something that I could be able to grasp, offer, and add value to the degree in which I really wanted to, right? Because you have a lot of people that start businesses all the time, and they say they're business owners and fall out of business, or really don't get a chance to really work on their craft or expertise. But for myself, I wanted to definitely make sure that as a business owner, I knew I wanted to be a business owner, but the question, as everybody always asks, is what will I do? What will I have to offer? And what if I offer something, will it be valuable, right? How can I get people to come here? Right. All of these different things, right? So after thinking all of that, I'm like, well, I think if I were in the business of money, that connects, to everything there, right?
Yeah.
So, right. So that actually is what, opened my mind up to wanting to look this route. But
Okay.
man, but before becoming a business owner, I mean, you have the struggles of, trading your time for dollars, right? I wanted to be in a position where, I could trade less time for the same opportunity of the same dollars or more dollars, right? And I wanted to be able to have more time with my family. I wanted to be able to actually be in control of my career and trajectory of where it is that I'm going, right? These are all things that before becoming a business owner, I'm like, these are my pain points in having a 9-to-5. Yeah. And how can I change that? So looking at Funder Intel and looking at becoming a business loan broker, I'm like, man, this was the way, right? If you are at that crossroads now and you're thinking like, man, I want to start a business, or, hey, I'm in a failing business, or what I'm doing is not working and I want to do something different, becoming a commercial loan broker or becoming a business loan broker is definitely a rewarding career. And going about it through Funder Intel, I think Funder Intel gives individuals a really great opportunity at having a successful business in that space, right? With all of the tools, all of the training, all of the support, and as far as even other networking that you have to be able to get with other brokers and other lenders, like you guys provide that space. So I think that in itself gives you a big advantage in going from, not being a business owner into jumping into becoming a business owner. Because what a lot of people, I think, don't account for when making that transition is the amount of structure that is going to be needed in order to make that transition successful.
Right. Well said. No, that's great stuff right there. And so, to touch on, I don't know if you've seen the group yet, but we created a group, essentially a couple months ago as well, and we're just kind of getting it going. But that's available to you as well because we want all our enrollees to network with existing brokers and funding companies. So, for those who haven't seen that already, please log in and do so. Um, all right. So, kind of separate from all that, we have just a couple more minutes left, but what are your thoughts? There's a lot of stuff going on with the economy right now. Interest rate hike, I think, is about to happen today.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the economy and kind of the near future and how it affects you, your business?
So I think that for the economy right now, right, what we are seeing is it's the repercussions of what happened in COVID, right? All of those, all of the handouts, all of the lowering the rates, all of the things like that. They say that in the economic space, you typically see the consequences of those trends after 2 years, right? And so we're in 2022 now. And the Fed rate hike of that 0.07 going up, you're going to be seeing more of those. You're going to see more business owners who have revolving lines of credit with banks getting closed, right? Because those monies are tightening up, which are amazing news for individuals like you and I, right? That broker with individuals in the alternative funding space, because that opens up opportunities for us to replace those lines of credit, right? With the individuals that we work with in the alternative funding space, or individuals who might be, have a relationship with a certain bank on the real estate loan side, right? That allows us the opportunity to get in there and help. Or if people are starting to fall behind, we can replace we can refinance those loans onto, off of the bank's books onto, some of our partners' books, right? That creates a lot of opportunity, because there's a lot of moving in the economy when you start to see, things go up, inflation and things go up. People start to look for cover and they typically come to us for that stuff.
Yeah, you're 100%. I think you're dead on, really. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a wild ride, I think, for the next little bit. It's already been actually for the last 6 months to a year. So it's yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. We're about out of time. So, again, thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
This,
Thank you
I
for
think,
having me.
yeah, I hope it's helpful for anyone who's, gonna either take a look at our program or just in general, business loan brokers and the challenges of business owners face and so forth. So, yeah, Stefan, no, it was great talking to you. Maybe we'll do this again down the line. We'll get an update of where you're at, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir, Shane. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. All right, Stefan, take care.
All right.
Thanks.